Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. If you don't know me, I'm Cassidy and this is my handsome boyfriend Malik. So today I wanted to go book shopping, and since things are starting to open back up, don't worry, we're going to be wearing masks, but I'm dragging him along because I thought it would be a fun idea if he chooses the books for me based on some prompts that I'm going to give him. So you're going to choose the books that I have to buy.
Okay.
I can't say no to these books unless there's 3 conditions, of course.
Really?
There has to be conditions. Unless I already own it, because you don't know all the books that I own. I don't. These aren't even half of the books that I own.
I know.
If I've already read it, okay? Or if it's like the 2nd or 3rd book in a series. So maybe if the first one also fits the prompt, we can find that. But otherwise, those are the 3 conditions. I have to buy the book that he chooses for me. So you better choose good books for me.
I'm going to choose the worst books.
No!
Watch.
No! So we're going to go, it's going to be like a vlog style video.
Black Lives Matter.
Yes, Black Lives do matter. Yes, they do. We are going to go book shopping and you are coming along with us. So we just got into Barnes & Noble and, oh, you're over here. There we go. So we just got into Barnes & Noble. They are limited capacity, so we had to wait outside for a little bit, which we don't mind. That's actually really good. But we are going to start with the first prompt here. I have 6 prompts just in case you can't find one of them. We're going to go into 3 sections to help find these books that I most likely will enjoy. So I like adult fantasy, young adult, sci-fi, fantasy, and romance books, and possibly mystery. So it depends, but we're probably going to stick to those sections. That way I have a better chance of actually enjoying the books. These prompts I ask my Twitter followers for. Prompt number 1 is book with an animal name in the title. It can be real or mythical. So we're going to find that one first.
Okay.
There we go. Who knew it'd be this hard to find a book with a animal in the title?
Right?
I own so many books with animal in the title and we can't find one here. Or rather, he can't find them. I have a list in my head probably of ones.
Would this considered one?
It does have cat in it.
I think I'm gonna go with this.
Catwoman? Okay. We're gonna get the...
It's a #1 New York Selling Times best-selling
She's one of my
author.
favorite authors. So there you go.
There you go.
Let's get the paperback though, because it's cheaper.
Yeah, true.
Alright, book number 1, Catwoman. Okay, so he completed the first prompt, and we are going on to the second prompt. You ready? Alright, the second prompt is a book with 3 or more people on the cover. The original prompt was 2 or more, but I think it's going to be harder to find 3 or more. So I want to do 3 or more.
So we're gonna
people
find a book with 3 or more people on the front.
On the cover, yeah.
On the cover. Okay.
Yep.
Most books have 1 person.
Yes, I was just about to say that usually you're going to find ones with only 1 person on the cover.
We Beat the Street, How a Friendship Pact Led to Success.
Oh, a nonfiction?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks kind of boring. I'm gonna go with mystery because I'm a very mysterious person.
There's a lot of people on the cover.
More than 3.
Yeah. a romance, so I'm probably sure I'll like it.
Book number 2.
Conventionally Yours by Annabeth Albert. I've never heard of it, so the cover's cool. Add it to the pile. Okay, 2 down. Maybe 3 more to go.
Okay.
But let's see, that's number 3. This one's gonna be hard too, I think.
What is it for book number 3?
So you have to find a book that has the author has the same initials as me. So my first name starts with a C, my last name starts with a W. So you have to find an author with the same initials as me.
How am I gonna find that?
Well, they're alphabetical by the author's last name. So just go into the W's, and maybe there's gonna be an author that starts with C.
How do I even do that? Oh. I think you like this.
Who's the author?
Carter Wilson.
CW.
But the name just makes it seem like something you like.
The Dead Girl in 2A.
Yeah, it's like definitely a mystery.
Okay. Ooh, it looks like it might be on a plane. Because the plane's right there.
Yeah, plus we had a romance already. Now we got a mystery.
And we have a young adult.
Yeah.
Okay. Add it to the stack.
We're rolling.
There we go.
Alright, guys. Hardest I've ever had to work since the whole quarantine.
I'm going to give you 2 prompts at once now because I think one's going to be really hard for you to find.
Oh,
and that's because you would have to read like the back of the book to be able to like get it. Or ask me if it's actually the thing, because yeah. Anyway, one of them is, since it's Pride Month, somebody suggested an LGBTQ plus fantasy. And if all else fails, we have another follow-up prompt, just in case. Okay, so he ended up picking up Once and Future by, I think there's 2 authors, Amy Rose Capita and Corey McCarthy. And he was reading it, and what? It drew your eye first, right?
Yeah, because it's King Arthur, and for the first time ever, King Arthur is actually a female.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we had to double check and see if there was rep in it, and there is. We don't know for sure what it is, because it doesn't say, but we are 99% sure that there is LGBTQ plus rep in this. So this is the book that he chose. Hopefully that is the case.
Yep.
So we're gonna add it to the pile.
Book number 4.
You're choosing all books that I actually don't own yet, so that's good.
Is it the books where I have to choose the vowels? A-E-I-O-U?
No. So the final one, since we already have 4 here, probably just get 5 books, right? So the final prompt is one that is going to be really cute. It's going to be a book that reminds you of me. So any book that you see and you're just like, this is one that I think she'll like, or...
So I don't have to do the syllables, thank you.
No. That was going to be one if you couldn't find the LGBTQ plus fantasy. It was going to be one with 6 or more syllables.
So
but
optional thing.
yeah, it was optional. Yeah, just in case we couldn't find it. But yeah, this one is one, find a book that reminds you of me. So hopefully you find a good one, because that'll be embarrassing.
John Scavran, the Ranger of
Marzana.
Though the empires destroy the old ways, one woman will fight to bring them back. In the first book of this breathtaking new fantasy series. It is the first book too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it's something you might like. It's a thick book. And I think this is like the kind of stuff you like. Dark fantasy kind of.
Wow.
Plus,
you nailed that.
It's a female lead in it, so supports, you know.
Okay. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Well, good job, because that was one of the ones that's top on my list. So look at that, you know me so well.
I try.
5 books for 5 prompts. I think he nailed it. There's one on here that I definitely wanted, and then the other ones that have I actually haven't heard of these two, so that's interesting. I'll have to read the back on that. And then this one I've heard of, and Catwoman, of course, I've heard of. But yeah, look at that. You found them all. So now time to purchase these books.
So there you have it, guys. Barnes & Noble's officially wrapped up. We got the books and we're headed home. But before we head home, we're gonna probably stop.
You're a professional at this YouTube thing.
Do you?
Yeah. I got some books. So I'm back from Barnes & Noble, and I thought I would go through the books again, even though you already saw them. I thought I would just show them to you and give a little synopsis for the ones that I had no clue what they're about. So we got 5 books here from Barnes & Noble that my boyfriend picked out for me. So we'll start with the one for the first prompt, which was find a book with a animal name in the title. Could have been real or mythical or whatever. He ended up choosing Catwoman by Sarah J. Maas. Cat is in the title. This is a young adult fantasy. I think it's more of an urban fantasy, and it is part of the DC Icons kind of series that a lot of YA authors are taking part in. And I never really had any interest in reading these too much. I don't read a lot of or follow a lot of DC movies or graphic novels or comics or anything like that. However, it's funny that he picked this up because I do love Sarah J. Maas. I love her A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I do enjoy Throne of Glass by her. I'm going to read this one because I did buy it, but I was never really interested in it, so let me know down below if it's good or not. But yeah, this was the book that he chose for prompt number 1. He also said that this is one that he would probably read as well, and I want him to read more, so it was a good choice either way. I believe the second prompt was find a book with 3 or more people on the cover, and this one was kind of hard. We spent a good while trying to find a book with that. I saw this one before he did. I think that's mainly because I was actually, you know, going through and looking for it. But he did end up seeing it as well, and it is Conventionally Yours by Annabeth Albert. I have never heard of this book before. It is a romance book, and as you can see, there are plenty of people on this cover. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. There's 16 people on this cover. He exceeded that question for sure. But this one I had never heard of, and I decided that I needed to read the back of it. I knew I was going to buy it anyway because he picked it up for me. But I looked at the back, and I realized that this one is a possible male-male romance. So he fulfilled another one of the questions without even realizing it. And I should have as well, because the 2 right in the front here are men. But the back of it up here says 2 infamous rivals, 1 epic road trip, some uncomfortably tight quarters. Why is there only 1 bed? and a journey neither will ever forget. So I looked at the back, and it's about these 2 men who go to a convention, like a gaming convention, I'm going to assume, because then they have to become rivals, basically. They both want to win this gaming competition, and I guess they fall in love. But I will definitely have to read and find out. So I'm definitely really, really interested in this one. I had never heard of it before, and I haven't actually seen anybody talk about it as well. So I'm really excited to read this one. This was definitely a good choice on his part, and I never realized that there was going to be a book with so many people on the cover. But yeah, this one is definitely a win. And then the third prompt was find a book whose author has the same initials as me, and my initials are CW, so he had to find a book that had, or an author rather, that had those same initials as I do, and we went to the mystery section, and he found the Dead Girl in 2A by Carter Wilson. So again, this is one that I had never heard of before, and I had to read the back of it because of course, but obviously I bought it and then I read the back when I got home. But basically this book is about a man and woman who end up sitting next to each other on a plane, and the man is drawn to this woman because he feels like he's seen her before but he can't remember where, and she feels the same, and they get to talking, and then she ends up saying that she is on this plane to go to, I think, Colorado maybe, to kill herself, and she disappears into the airport, and he has to kind of figure out what's going on, what has drawn them together, does he know her, and maybe try to stop her from doing this to herself. And I guess there's a lot of mystery behind this, and it's a psychological thriller, so I never heard of this before. Who knows if it's gonna be any good, but we shall see. I am very interested in it. It does sound good, and it sounds different than other things that I've read, so I'm definitely interested in this one. And then the next prompt was find a book that has LGBTQ plus themes in it. It's supposed to be a fantasy book. This one I thought was a really good prompt because it is June, it is Pride Month, so I think this one was a really good prompt for him to do. It was definitely harder, but one of the first books he was drawn to was Once and Future by Amy Rose Capita and Corey McCarthy. This one I did have to verify on Goodreads and through reviews that this does have some rep in it, because I didn't remember from what I've seen if it for sure did or not. But this was one of the first ones he was drawn to, mainly because I believe he says it in the video if you could hear him. But he was interested in it because he does like the Arthur legend. And I looked it up, and it's supposed to have some rep in it, so we'll see if that's true or not. But I'm very interested in this one. I heard mixed reviews of it, but I have always had my eye on it, so I'm glad he chose this one. And then the final prompt was to find a book that reminds him of me. So he had to find a book that he thought I would like, or the cover maybe, you know, he thought of me, or something like that. And we decided to go into the high fantasy, adult fantasy section. He knows that I love Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and just all things fantasy. So we actually were next to Lord of the Rings the shelf, because it's basically an entire shelf, and he ended up seeing The Ranger of Marzana by John Scovron. So this actually is a book that I've had on my list since I heard about it, which was actually a couple months ago. It is a high fantasy novel about two siblings, I think. Yep. And there's supposed to be like a lot of action in this, and let's see, intrigue, let's see what else, a quest, things like that. I was mainly drawn to it because of the cover, and he does say, my boyfriend does say in the video that this looks like a dark fantasy, and that's exactly what I like. So if that's the case, he nailed it. But yeah, I find it really cool that he picked this one up without knowing that it was actually on my list. So I'm really excited to read this one. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but I am really excited about this one. So there you have it, everyone. These are the 5 books that my boyfriend picked out for me while on this Barnes & Noble shopping spree. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them. I would love to know. Please like this video if you enjoyed watching, and also comment down below again if you want me to do more of these videos. I had a lot of fun, and my boyfriend was such a team player in doing this with me. So comment down below if you also want to see him in more videos, because I have a few in mind that I would like to do. But yes, please like this video and subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you all next time. Bye!